Hey guys, it's Jake here with eTrailer. Today we have a 2023 Chevy Colorado, and we're going to be taking a look at, I'm going to show you how to install this Curt Class 3 2-inch hitch receiver. This hitch is going to be designed to replace the hitch support that will come factory on your Colorado. Typically the Colorado will come with that bar that's underneath here. You'll see the two safety chain loops sticking out, and then you're supposed to drill a hole in the top, slide a goose or a hitch ball down through there, and then tighten up the nut, and then you have a hitch mounted on your step. A lot of people out there don't like using those because you don't have any height adjustment for towing different types of trailers, and that's really not safe to not tow a trailer level. So adding a hitch receiver is going to allow you to have bike racks, cargo carriers on the back of your Colorado, and then also put on in those adjustable ball mounts to be able to safely tow a trailer. This hitch is going to feature that 2-inch by 2-inch hitch tube opening. That's going to fit a lot of different accessories because it is the most common size. We'll have our nice large safety chain loops. Now I will say with this style of safety chain loop, it may limit you for what kind of safety chain you can use. It's not too big actually, so it might work out okay for you, but I do like how they made this one side smaller over here, so if you do have problems getting a clevis style like this to latch, you can always go to the side and it'll latch much easier. This is also going to fit your S-hooks, but you see here, that's a prime example. It's not going to fit super great on there. So if you start on the side or you hook from the back, it'll fit just fine. It's going to have a 5/8 inch hitch pin hole. The hitch does not come with a pin and clip, but chances are if you pick up an accessory from us, it's going to come with a locking or non-locking hitch pin. Now, as far as weight capacities go for this hitch receiver, you're going to have a max tongue weight capacity of 800 pounds, a max gross trailer weight capacity of 8,000 pounds. That is the trailer plus the load included. And then if you're using it with weight distribution to pull a small race trailer or box trailer or say a camper, it's going to increase the capacities to 1,000 pounds of tongue weight and 10,000 pounds gross trailer weight. With all of those measurements in mind, or those weight capacities in mind, you do want to check with your Colorado's owner's manual to see what your Colorado is rated to pull. From the center of our hitch pin hole to the outermost part of our bumper, it's about 3 inches. The hitch receiver does sit behind the bumper, which is nice because if you don't have an accessory in there, you don't have to worry about hitting your shin on the hitch receiver. But you want to use that 3-inch measurement to compare it to accessories that you might be looking at, like a cargo carrier or a bike rack. That is going to tell you whether or not that those accessories will safely fold up to the back of your vehicle without making contact. To better use that measurement, if you watch some of our videos on those accessories, they should give you a measurement from the center of the hitch pin hole to the closest part so you can make a decision on one of those accessories before you have to make a purchase. From the ground to the top inside of the receiver tube is about 18.5 inches. You want to use that measurement in order to get the correct size ball mount for a rise or drop. If you're planning on towing a trailer that you already have, just measure from the ground to the top of the coupler on your trailer when the trailer is level, and that'll tell you, compare it to that 18 inches or 18.5, and that'll tell you what size ball drop or rise that you're going to need. That also helps with knowing whether or not you're going to be safe to have an accessory in here and go up a steep incline, because accessories will have a tendency to drag if they're too low to the ground. But with 18.5 inches, you should be safe with any accessory. To begin our installation, we're going to need to lower our spare tire to give ourselves a little bit more room to work. We'll take a trim panel tool, or if you have a flathead screwdriver, pop up on this little tab, and then you'll see the location where you'll insert your spare tire tool. We've got these around the shop, so we're going to use it, but just locate yours in your truck, and then we'll need to lower the spare tire. Now we're going to need to be underneath in our spare tire compartment. We'll remove this bolt using a 15mm socket, and we're going to loosen this one. Now we can swing this out of our way. Now we're going to need to loosen up this tube. It's just a guide tube for a spare tire. We'll just pop it out of this little cubby there. It just slides out of the end, and then in this sleeve here, we're going to have some tabs that are holding it on. We'll just give it a little bit of a twist, pull it out, and we're just going to pull it down for now. The next thing we're going to do is disconnect any wiring that is connected to our bumper. So they're all going to be up here. We're going to have one here, one here. Essentially, this is because our hitch here is attached to our bumper, and we're going to have to get that off. Now we'll just start loosening this wiring from our hitch because it's going to have to come off. And then any of these that you see with this little red tab, pop that red tab back, push that clip, and then pull down. Come over here, disconnect it from our bumper, pop that down, and then our 7-pole will have a little gray tab here. Pull that back, then push on the little black tab and pull out. That should be all of our wiring. Actually, nope, we've got one more up here. Pop that, disconnect it, pop that. There we go. That should be all our wiring. We're going to have these angled brackets that are helping to hold our bumper onto our frame rail. We're going to have two 21mm bolts on the outside here that we're going to have to remove. Now we've got two more nuts that we need to remove, one on either side of this, the hitch that comes with the truck, or the bumper beam support. This nut here, and then one on the other side. It's definitely a good idea to have an extra set of hands, so Aiden's helping us out here. We're just gonna have him push on the bumper so that it doesn't fall off, and then I'm gonna go out and help him lift it down. We'll take our bumper, carefully start sliding it back. There we go. Now we'll set our bumper to a safe place. Now we're going to take that same 21mm socket and remove the 4 bolts out of the bottom of our hitch support here. It's definitely going to be good to have an extra set of hands to help you lower this down. Now we'll lower this down and set it to the side because we will not be reinstalling it. Now we're going to take a little bit of penetrating oil, spray it up in here. The thread should be clean because we just pulled bolts out of there, but it's not a bad idea to get some of the factory gum that they put up in there to keep the bolt from moving. So let's get those cleaned out. Now with an extra set of hands, we're going to lift our hitch up into place, line it up with our bolt holes, and then thread our factory bolts back into place. Now we'll go ahead and snug up our hardware. We've got a lot of play front to back, and because we have to mount up to our bumper right here, I don't want the bumper to be sticking out too far or to be too far in. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our bumper put back up there, make any slight adjustments that we need to, get our bumper lined up where we want it to fit on our vehicle, and then tighten everything down. Just want to lift your bracket up and over. There's going to be 2 sets of holes in our hitch. You'll want to use the top right one if you're on the driver's side and the top left if you're on the passenger. So we'll hold that there and get our nuts reinstalled. Now we kind of messed with the play that we had in the hitch, and we found out that pushing it all the way in is going to be the best fit to get these bolts back in place. So we'll go ahead and put all 4 of our bolts back in the side brackets that go into the side of our frame rail, and then we can come back and we can torque all of those fasteners down. Now we're going to come back and torque our hardware to the specifications and the instructions. The next step in our process is we're going to take the bolt and the nut that come in our kit. We're going to slide our carriage bolt down through till it locks in this square hole, and then lift our spare tire bracket back up into place and follow that with a nut. We can come back and tighten and torque both of these. Now all that's left to do is get your wiring all reconnected and get your spare tire lifted back up into place. But that's going to do it for the installation. Hopefully this video helped you decide whether or not the Curt Class 3 2-inch hitch receiver is right for you and your 2023 Chevy Colorado.